On what's up, this is Adhika Badar from Extra Coding YouTube channel. So friends, in today's video, we're gonna learn how to handle exceptions. So what are exceptions? Exceptions are the errors that are raised up during the execution of our program. Okay, so here in my last video, if you remember that we learned some of the basic errors and learned how to raise our own error. So, in today's video, we're going to learn how to handle exceptions. So, suppose if I make two variables here, num1 is equals to int input, enter the number. Or here we can write enter the first number. Let me just copy it and paste it here. Second number. Okay. Now, here I will use if statement. If num1 is greater than num2, then print number 1, or we can write first number is greater. First number is greater. Right? Or else we can use elif also here. Elif number 1 is less than number 2, then we can just print second number is greater. Right? And in else we can just write print both are equal. Both numbers are equal. Right? Now let me just run my program. So here enter the first number. Let me enter 5. Enter the second number. Let me enter 10. See, second number is greater. Right? Now, if I run my program, see, enter the first number. Let me enter 10. Enter the second number. So, suppose I enter AB. So see, it is throwing value error. Right? So here, there's an exception. As you can see, it is the error during the execution of my program. So this will be an exception. Okay. So now, if I want to handle this exception, I can handle it using try except. Okay. So here, we know that the code where the error can be raised up is this code, num1 and num2, right? So we can put these codes in try block. Okay, and let me just indent it. Right, now after this we'll write except. Here it will print invalid input. Right, so here Python will just try to execute it. Right, so here if we pass right value, then the next program, that is this program, will run, right? But if we pass wrong values, then it will write invalid input. It won't throw the error, but it will print invalid input, right? So here, let me run it. Here, first number I have entered 5 and second number I have entered AB. See, it is throwing invalid input. But now it is name error that is raising up. So why name error is raising up? Because here name num2 is not defined. So here, as you know that in num2 we passed AB. So that's why this code was limited until this try block only, right? So that's why it wasn't able to execute outside the try block. So here, that's why it is saying that num wait, let me just run it again. So that's why it is saying 5 and AB. Name num2 is not defined, right? There's a name error just because of this. So now here, as we know that the error for this program is value error, right? So here we can write value error. Sorry, value error. Okay. So if I run my program, 10. See, second number is greater. But now if I run my program and enter some invalid input, 5 and AB. See, invalid input for value error. And then we can put except again. We can use as many except blocks and it will print error. Okay, so here. Now here 5 and AB. So here, as I have written, except print error. So if there's a value error, then it will print invalid input. But if there's any other error, then it will print error. So this is why I want to tell you, if you write value error, then this statement will get printed only when there's a value error, right? But if there's any other error, then it will print error, right? So hope you got it. And for this num1 and num2 is not defined, we can use loop here. We can make user input until and unless he or she inputs the correct value. Okay, so here I can just write while true. Okay, and here let me just indent it, and this loop will break when both the values will be correct, when try block will be correct. So now if I run my program, wait a second, yeah, first number 5 and AB, invalid input. Okay, so as you can see here, it was just invalid input and the name error wasn't raised up, right? Because still when I have entered wrong values, still this while loop is working, and thus this code hasn't been worked yet. Okay, so here again, if I pass some ABC here, invalid input, right? 56 and something like this, invalid input. But here if I write 5 and 10, see, second number is greater. If I run it again, and here if I pass 10 and then 5, first number is greater. And here if I write 5, see, both numbers are equal. So here as you can see, I have handled my exception, and here my code is working really efficiently. So this is how we handle our exceptions, right? Now here we only learned try and except. Now let's use else and finally as well. Okay, so here if I write else, and here I can write anything. So print f string num1 is equals to, here I can write num1, and then num2 is equals to num2, right? And from here we will remove this break. So here else statement will work only when there is no error in my try block, right? So here if there is no problem in my try block, else statement will work. Or if there, but if there's a error, if there's an error in my try block, then value error or any other error will work, then except blocks will work. Okay, so if there's value error, then this except block will work. If there's any other error, then this except block will work. So here after this, let me just break. Okay, so if I run 5 and then AB, see, invalid input. Now let me just run it again. For that enter 10 and AB, see, invalid input, enter first number. Okay, now here suppose if I write like this, see, invalid input, enter first number, so 5 and 10. Num1, see, when I was entering wrong values, then only except blocks were working, right? But now as I have entered correct values here, now else block is working. Num is equals to 5, num1 is equals to 5 and num2 is equals to 10. Second number is greater, that is this one, our if else statement here, right? Now let's see finally, sorry, finally, and print this is a finally block. Now as you can see here, I have break the loop, but now if I run it, and here let me just pass wrong values. See, invalid input, this is a finally block, right? So if I write C again, invalid input, this is a finally block. But now here if I write 5 and 10, see, else block, this code is of else block, this code is of finally block, and this is the code of this if else statement. So here finally block will always work. If there's a finally block, it will always work. But still, as you can see here, we have already break the loop in else statement only, but still this finally block has executed, is executed, right? So this is try, except, else, and finally. Hope these all are clear to you. So right, that's it for today's video. See you soon in my next video, guys. Thank you so much.